Testing. I'm hoping that my audio is okay. Hopefully my audio is okay. Yeah, I'm hoping my audio is okay. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to another session here at TrinFx. I'm sorry. Got up kind of late, guys. Not gonna lie, this 3 a.m. thing is kind of taxing. I set my alarm to get up early, but I don't know. At some point, I ended up falling back asleep. So yeah, that's that's why we're late. But nothing much going on in the markets right now. Just had a check. So we're good. We're good. We didn't miss out on anything. So good morning, guys. Welcome back to the stream. Hopefully everybody having a wonderful week thus far, right? I hope everybody's doing well. If you're able to hear me, that's great. Just pop out the chat. All right. Okay. So we're gonna start off here with the GPJPY, right? And you can see we only have like a minute and something approaching to the London session. We haven't had much of anything happening, right? Price has just been kind of ranging and consolidating right in this area here. And you can see this happened after the initial push that we had from yesterday's bullishness. So this is where we're at right now. Right, we ran into this zone right here. We could call this sort of a daily level, right? Because price reached here, rejected, and now this is where the current daily candle is forming at, right? So is whether we have, the ability to see a continuation upwards, or maybe price just fails entirely and comes back down, right? So it's either one of the two. Now I think that we could possibly correct the entire move back to the downside here and get a candle closure back down here, closing out from this bullish candle, push upward. Um, but it depends on whether the market has enough momentum to do so. But I think that's the play that I'm looking for really. For a long term overall, for the course of a day, yeah, I'd like to enter a trade if I do see a push or close below this level here. Vice versa, same thing if I see a push or close above that level, right? Because at this point we're consolidating, and now we just have to look for a possible breakout of this consolidation, right? And once we do have that breakout, we should see continuations within that initial push in whichever direction price decides to go at. I'm more bearish right now at this point in time. Yes, so we did have some USD, sorry, not USD, we had some JPY selling. So we saw price continue extremely strongly to the upside, right? As the yen weakened overall for the course of the day, we saw the Japanese cross pairs, right? The yen cross pairs continue to push upwards. So yeah, it depends on what we could see right now. Same thing goes for all the other cross pairs, the end cross pairs. It's like the same thing across the board, right? Um, excuse me. Yeah, not much to discuss really. Yeah, in terms of the end pairs that look like the best, we could look at USD JPY. That being one of the more uniformed yen cross pair, right? It's easier to see this coming back downwards, especially if we have some USD weakening, as well as the JPY. Right, so that's what I'm looking at. Look, actually need to see a breakout first, so this may be a little longer, um, just to see those breakouts first, and then the continuation movement. All right, so this is one level here. Remove this and remove this. I'm just gonna take around like maybe two trading opportunities on this today, possibly. So this is trade opportunity one. If you're looking to be more of a more aggressive, more assertive, this would be the first opportunity here, right? Now, as I said, I'm expecting price to continue downwards, so you could enter at this point looking for that continuation and rejection from this level. I think that's like the better possible play right here, right? So this will be my first actual entry, right? And looking for this continuation movement back downwards, right? So with a 11 pip stop loss, this is the first initial trade I'll be looking to take here. And this is something that I like to do, not all the time, but it depends on the market conditions that we do have. Sometimes I might take a more aggressive stance or opportunity compared to other times, right? So just gonna take this trade. Side and stop loss is around 15 pips. Right, so this is the first initial trade. If we do get a closure below this level here, right, then could possibly enter a more conservative trade setup or in that region, right? In having around the same stop loss, right? You have this level, and then you're just looking for that continuation push downwards, right? Me personally, I like to use a tighter stop loss, just to maximize my overall yields depending on where price is currently at. So if price does manage to close below this level here, then we should see a continuation movement downwards. So at that point, having a stop loss relatively tight, something like this, would be okay. All right. So that would be like the next possible trade setup to be looking at. We'll take a look at the other charts as well, right? All right. So I'm hoping that everybody's hearing me clearly. I don't think we have any problems with audio. All right. Continuing forward. Let's see. The other what we have on the docket today, we do have some news events that I'd like to be pay attention to. Um, so that's one thing. I'm just logging into my FX book here. Oh. Crazy. I'm so calm, slightly tired. Um, yeah, so we have some card retail sales news. Again, we're looking at like the monthly comparisons for September month and this yearly comparison, right? Um, we also have S&P Global Services PMI for the AED. Not really that too important. And we have some speeches in between, right? So the only thing of interest is probably the NZD interest rate that we have coming up. That's around, I think, what, 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock tonight. So quite a ways ahead, but we can possibly see some rallying on the NZD before the speech, right? So sorry, not the speech, before the interest rate decision and the press conference and all that, we could possibly see some rallying. I think at the point of the actual news itself, we might see price dip, and this is something that has been like commonplace. If you've been looking at when we have interest rates increase, especially for the risk assets itself, there have been sort of a lackluster movement, We have been seeing price gradually come down rather than continue in a bullish direction. And that's just something from like observing the past interest rates decisions that we've seen, right? So you have to be more careful and more thoughtful when you're trading the interest rate decisions. Again, we're dealing with high inflation and we want to bring that down. So for that to be done, interest rates have to increase and so forth. um so that being said, I do think we could possibly see some rallying before the news itself, and I'll be a little bit wary on entering any bullish position at this point in time. And when coming up to the news event itself, right? That will have to be, we'll have to wait and see. I personally will wait and see what price does. If you take a look at the, where is the NCD? Right, so I'm currently seeing some pullbacks on this first hour here. Right. A good possible trade, I think, would be possible NZD-CHF. It looks more uniform for me. And especially coming up with the news, we could possibly see that rallying be a little stronger. This being that point of interest. Let's bring this thing 1 hour here. Yeah, so this will be my point of interest for that rally. And then for sell continuations from this area here, right? So if price does manage to rally all the way back up, right? At this point, if we do end up reaching here, I'll look to sell from that region rather than look for continuations, pushing even higher, just because that would mean that that data has already been priced in, right? So the momentum for that continuation movement wouldn't be there, right? Not necessarily. So the best option, I think, at that point would be using this as a technical level, understanding that okay, sellers may try to get into this point and the NCD may actually weaken and start pushing down a little bit, right? Just to be more technical rather than, allowing the fundamentals to take over at this point. Because we would have already priced in that data. The rally would have been the interest rate itself being priced in if it manages to go all the way up. So at that point, this technical level starts to hold more weight, right? And if price has already been priced in and everything comes out expected and we don't get like a surprise interest hike or anything like that, so instead of 75 we get a 100-point increase, if we don't get that or anything like that, then if it just comes out expected, we should just see price fall, right? I think that's commonplace. So that's something that I'll be looking forward to as well. Right. So NZD CHF, yeah, I'll put that as something to watch. Right. Let's just take a look at the JPY. Right, so price just in that range. If you want at this point, you could actually, if price, you want to be more conservative and you find it coming back at that point, you could take half off right around the entry area, but I think we should continue moving downwards, right? So nothing certain. But yeah, I'm just leaving it for now and see what happens. But if you want to, you could be more conservative with your trade, of course. Nothing's wrong with that. And something that I'll always like to reaffirm to you guys is understanding that it is a low volume market situation. Sorry, my glasses is dirty. So it's a low market volume situation, right? So you need to be aware of the risk that you are taking per trade and aware of the market condition itself, that there's not enough volume, price might just range, it might consolidate a little bit more, or you mightn't see the usual movements that you're accustomed to getting, right? Which is all perfectly normal, right? You don't need to trade every single day or every single month. So yeah, that's just something that I think you should note as well, right? And I'll always keep reaffirming that because I see people trying to take challenges and stuff like that during November month, December month, and all of that. And it's like, I'm just wondering why you're gonna do that to yourself. Like if you have a strategy that works, and it works good, then great. But I really think like the best opportunity is to do it, when the markets are kicking, when there's volume in the markets, right? Why take the unnecessary risk to do something like that when there's so much uncertainty within the current market dynamics? Just doesn't make sense to me. But oh well, I'm not them. I'm not balling like them. So um, all right. Some other things to take a look at. I had a 80 USD trade, right? I'm actually in a 80 USD trade right now. 2% risk, looking for this to continue moving upward. I might just adjust my stop loss at this point, because I don't currently like how it's taking so long to actually continue upwards, right? Um, so I'm currently like at 2%, around 2%. 80 CAD as well has just been kind of consolidating right in that area, and I'm looking or waiting for the breakout above. Right, if we get a solid bullish candle close to the upside, then we should continue upwards. So that's something that I'm also waiting for. At this point, I'll hold this. Um, Pretty solid for the week already thus far. But not by too much, but solid enough, right? So I think I'll just hold this and wait and see what happens. We don't have much in terms of news either, so I'm not gonna be entering a lot of trade setups. It'll be a pretty relaxed week, possibly, right? Yeah, it might be a pretty relaxed week. All right, so I'm just waiting for that breakout, right? If we get that break to the downside, um, then we should continue downwards. I mean, if you want, you could exit with some profits, yeah. Just because again, to be more conservative, nothing's wrong with that. I want to reaffirm that to you guys. Nothing's wrong with being conservative as a trader. Um, and yeah, the best possible thing what you could wait for right now is that candle closure below this level of resistance or maybe above, right? And then the continuations should happen. So yeah, overall, that's what I think is more important at this moment. Right. If anybody have any peers that they want to look at, then feel free to ask. If you have questions, then feel free to ask as well. Right. Hopefully, if I can help you learn a thing or two, then that's what I'm here for. Um, I'm gonna take a look at Bitcoin. Right. Bitcoin continuing that sort of range in movement right in this area here as it continues to the fall. It seems like, it'll be unlikely to recover and it might just continue falling even lower and lower, which is, I guess, bad for crypto, but good for anybody that's looking to get into crypto as well, right? This is like the most discounted price you're gonna get Bitcoin at. And if it just drives upwards afterwards, like overall, that's quite the percentage return actually. I don't trade crypto or anything, but overall, yeah, if you're a crypto investor or anything like that, this is possibly the best time to get into it. You get it at the most discounted price, and you should see a massive, massive return as things normalize, or once things does normalize to a certain extent. Then yeah, price continuations on this just gonna be very, very profitable. All right, so not much going on. Price pullback here. Nice. Yeah, really not much, guys. This is just so many things you just have to run into. Price action, slow markets, and just having patience with the markets as well to see what you want to see play out. Yeah, we have this nice bearish candle push here already from this rejection level, right? Long wick rejection, strong bearishness. Nice clean movement to the downside here. Yeah, that would be a nice trade if I wasn't so wary of the US dollar. Then yeah, that would have been a nice possible trade. Here the DXY. So we talked about this as well. During yesterday live stream, the expectancy is to actually play out, right? Whether the price will continue break above, continue up, or if we'll just get rejection from this area, which is the more likely scenario, then we should see price continue dropping on the US side of things, right? And momentum, the shift in terms of market sentiment or sentiment, the mood overall should remain the same with the risk contours that we were seeing before. So at this point, US dollar still looking weak. If we do get some bullish candle push above, then at that point my bias would change, right? But if this rejection here is like solidified and continue moving downwards, then okay, we should just see the US dollar weaken and continue weakening overall. So yeah, that's it for this. And not much, not much. We'll made some pretty clear levels, continuing down. Like a nice downtrend. Um, could be a rejection down here, but again, I'm not bullish on the US dollar or anything like that. So I wouldn't just enter this based off of the technical levels. Um, uh, yeah, potentially might just wait. If prices to continue pushing lower, then I want to see it pass here to enter gold or at this point close above this area, and then we might actually continue back into this next level area of resistance, right? So that might be another possible trade too. This relatively tight. This might be, one of your trade possibilities. But like I said, I'm only sticking with the GPJPY. I don't trade gold, but this looks like a pretty solid trade idea if price manages to close above here. Yeah, the continuation strikes me to possibly continue moving up, right? Rather than full on just pull back all the way back down, just because the overall strength it isn't there, right? So that seems more like a likely scenario. So if you trade gold, this is a potential setup that you could take, and I'll just monitor it. I will see if it plays out. If it plays out, then great. If not, then oh well. Um, but yeah, this is just seems like a more possible thing to happen. All right, guys. So I'm gonna call it early, right? We don't have much going on. You already see the position I have open, what I'm looking at, what I'm expecting overall, and that's basically it, right? And whether we see this happening or not, we'll just have to wait and see if we get that push and that pull below the area. For the continuations, I'll update my group as well. Those in the VIP Discord community group. If you do see price close, might enter a secondary position on this entry here. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe we might get a total of 16%. I'm risking 2% per trade. So maybe we might get, this being our next possible play out here. All right, guys. So thank you for joining in. Not much really going on in the market, right? So I'm not gonna drag this out or anything. Um, this is all that we have potentially being, the possible play out. So with that being said, I'm gonna end it here, and I'll just keep you guys updated within the group. And yeah, I do hope that everybody has a great trading week. Also a great trading day as well, and that I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, right? And also the interest rate decisions that we do have tonight will be like the next possible big setups that we see. So looking forward to that too. All right, guys. So take care.